From blowing $1 million of the shark's money on sports cars to using TV fame to become a convicted serial predator, these are the most shameless con artists who ever entered the tank. Beginning with Charles Yim, an entrepreneur who delivered one of the most successful pitches in Shark Tank history, until it was all exposed as a massive, dangerous lie.
Breathometer, the world's first smartphone breathalyzer.
His pitch was genius. He claimed to have a revolutionary device that could solve the life or death problem of drunk driving by turning any smartphone into a police-grade breathalyzer. To top it off, he presented himself as a seasoned tech veteran who knew how to win.
Develop it. Are you a software guy? Are you a hardware design guy?
So I used to code back in the day.
A life-saving product and a proven founder. It was an irresistible combination that sparked a feeding frenzy, leading to something that almost never happens. All 5 sharks decided to invest together. He had them hook, line, and sinker.
$500,000 from Mark Cuban for 15%, and $500,000 from the rest of the sharks. We're going to split it,
Right.
for a total of 30% for $1 million. And the power of Shark Tank. What are you going to do?
I accept.
But the celebration didn't last long. The red flags appeared almost immediately when the sharks realized their $1 million wasn't going into the product. It was being spent on the founder's brand new sports car.
I think it was Damon or Mark went to see the founder in San Francisco, and he's sitting down with him, and the guy says to him, "Hey man, do you want to see my brand new car?" And outside, he's got a brand new Audi R8 sports car. And we're like, holy shit, is that where our money's going?
It gets worse. Not only was he blowing their money, Mark Cuban discovered Yim wasn't even working. He was on a permanent vacation, claiming his non-stop partying was just networking.
I look at his Instagram and he'd be in Bora Bora. 2 weeks later and he'd be in Vegas partying, then he'd be on Nectar Island with Richard Branson. And I'd text him like, what the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to be working. Oh no, I'm networking.
But the biggest scam of all was the product itself. It was absolute garbage. Customers flooded review sites with complaints, revealing the device gave dangerously inaccurate readings. The excitement of this great idea fell away quickly. After an evening dinner with a few glasses of wine, we received 4 very different readings, 0.04 to 0.08 within a 10-minute period. The scam was so blatant that in 2017, the Federal Trade Commission stepped in, accusing the company of knowingly lying to its customers from the very beginning. Defendants were aware, by at least March 2015, that Breathe devices produced inaccurate BAC readings. However, they failed to notify consumers that the devices were inaccurate and could understate the user's BAC. The lies had finally caught up to them. Breathometer was forced to offer a full refund to every single person they had deceived, costing them over $5 million. The sharks had been taken for a ride, and they lost everything.
And we all lost our money. That's the only one where I actually lost cash.
But while Breathometer's scam is hidden in faulty tech, this next founder was such a fraud that Mark Cuban called him a scammer to his face. And yet, he still almost got a deal.
Every day, our bodies are bombarded by positive ions. What we have done is we use the counterpart of positive ion called negative ion. What we do is we put it in our watches, and it helps restore our energy field in our bodies.
His product was a silicon watch infused with negative ion technology. Pseudoscience so ridiculous he had to prove it with a bizarre parlor trick.
A pink one.
Okay? Just resist. Resist.
Looks like it's working,
Yeah,
doesn't
you look
it?
like you have more balance in that one. Yeah.
That's a little weird.
But Mark Cuban wasn't buying the magic show for a second. He immediately called out the product for what it was, a complete and total scam.
Seriously, this is not new. It's been disproven. What you saw was the placebo effect. There's athletes that wear it. It's a joke. It's a scam. It's not real. I'm out.
As if the pseudoscience wasn't bad enough, Damon John delivered the final blow when he exposed Ryan for lying about even designing the watch he was selling.
I helped take a company called Roomba Time, and they have the exact same line. So you're lying.
With his pitch completely destroyed, Kevin O'Leary made a hilarious final offer. He would only invest if Ryan admitted on national television that his entire product was a scam.
If you admit it's a scam, maybe I'll invest.
I don't believe it is.
But years later, after being sued into oblivion by the oil giant ExxonMobil over his company's name, Ryan finally admitted the truth. He knew it was a scam all along.
I personally didn't really believe a whole lot about it, but I had seen it working for some people that had dizziness issues, balance issues. They loved my product and they kept buying it.
He was knowingly selling a fake watch to vulnerable people, a fact one viewer summed up perfectly. The guy is actively tricking the consumer and lying. It's worse than he realized. You can't do this and be ignorant of it. But selling a fake watch is nothing compared to a founder who used his Shark Tank fame not just to build a business, but to become a serial predator.
I'm Nate Holtzaffel, and I'm founder of the Mission Belt Company, and we're seeking $50,000 in exchange for 20% equity in our company.
In 2013, Nate Holtzapat burst onto millions of TV screens with his innovative Mission Belt. He was a charismatic force of nature, a salesman so incredible that the Sharps couldn't get enough of him.
Wait. One of the first things you did when you get to Los Angeles.
I check in, I went and sold 20 belts door to door.
I love you. I love you.
We don't need to hire a sales force. I am a sales force.
I'm really impressed by you.
His energy landed him a deal with Damon John, who was so impressed he turned him into his official protege. The partnership was a massive success. But the first sign that something was deeply wrong appeared when Damon brought Nate in to help him in another business.
After we taped Shark Tank, but before our episode aired, Damon John called us and he said that we should set up a website to capture all of the sales that would come in the night that the show aired. He told us he had an internet genius who would be able to set up our site for us. This internet genius, as Damon called him, had also previously been on Shark Tank, and Damon partnered with him. Here, Nate sent us this email saying every precaution that can be made has been, but Nate never set up sales taxes on the sauces. The day after airing, we had to refund over $30,000 worth of sauces.
Nate's incompetence was catastrophic, but it was his greed that was truly shocking. After gaining access to the Bubba's Q bank account, he stole over $90,000 from the family, and somehow he got away with it. But his business scams were nothing compared to the horrific crimes he was committing in his personal life. In 2020, he met Courtney Morton, a breast cancer survivor and caregiver to her disabled son. He charmed her, hiding the fact that he was married, and sold her the dream of a successful Shark Tank star. He convinced her to sell her specially modified home, promising to help her reinvest the money. Instead, he stole almost all of it, leaving her with just $11,000 from the $200,000 sale. And Courtney wasn't his only victim. He preyed on other single women, like Sammy Turnbow, whom he sexually assaulted, and Deanne Jansen, who he conned out of $50,000 from her late husband's life insurance policy. The predator was eventually caught and sentenced to up to 15 years in prison. But in a sickening final twist to this story, the Utah Parole Board has granted Nate Holzenpat an early release.
The parole board can legally keep him locked up until 2038. Today we learned he's been granted a release date of April 4th, 2028.
He will be a free man in 2028 after serving less than 5 years. For Nate, the deal was a few years behind bars. For his victims, it's a lifetime of looking over their shoulder.